Welcome back, J-Fusion fans, to War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. So, I've decided to make another video about this. Now, this is going to be more of a guide video than a gameplay video. So, there have been other YouTubers that I've seen making this kind of stuff, but I want to try making my own version. So, in this video, we're going to talk about characters. So, which characters are the most useful? So, which characters are the best? Now, before I answer that question, we need to keep in mind that basically every character in this game is useful, especially if you raise them properly, especially if you maximize their levels and job levels. So, other than that, what other things should we consider? So I'm going to the units page here. So as you can see here, I have all my characters sorted out by rarity. Now, speaking of rarities, if possible, of course, as much as possible, you want to get an ultra rare or a UR card. But if you don't have a lot of URs, then what are you gonna do? Which characters should you play as? But of course, since we are talking about the best rarity in the game first, uh, of course I'm going to pick the best character, not only from the ones that I have, but other characters that I've seen that are very, very powerful. Now, I'm not going to include event exclusives or collaborations such as Cecil Harvey right here. Now, of course, he's going to be very powerful once he's maxed out. But again, he's a collaboration character, so he wouldn't be really going. Like, once the collaboration event is over, you probably won't get the chance to get him unless there's going to be a revival of sorts. But if you're going for the common banners or any UR that would likely come out, despite whether it's a collaboration or not, so which characters should you choose? Now, the very first character that I'm going to introduce here is Ayaka. She is actually a crossover character from the original Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, so that's a separate mobile game. But I do believe that you can also get her here, even though without a collaboration event, she's going to be available. Now, she is a white mage, which is, of course, a support and healing oriented job, and she's typically considered by everyone or every War of the Visions player as the best healer in the game. Now, she does start off purely as a support character. She um, basically heals everyone, casts Protect and such, but once you unlocked her skills for Time Mage and Green Mage, she does gain some more offensive spells, especially with Time Mage. I've already unlocked Comet. She can also learn Meteor. For White Mage, I believe she can learn Holy. So I need to unlock that first, of course. And other Well, basically, for her white mage job, Ayaka is stuck with Holy as her offensive spell. So, if you want to be a bit more offensive, so you can put Time Mage as her secondary job ability. So, for example, ability set. So, this is her main job right here, White Mage. And I can choose a sub job, so either Time Mage or Green Mage, for example. and then I'd gain access to that comet. But for now, I'm focusing on Ayaka as a pure white mage. So there you go, you already have the best healer in the game so far. And I do believe she's the only white mage that's UR rarity. There are other characters that can learn healing spells, but of course, go for a white mage because she's very effective. Now, the next character that I'm going to introduce is Engelbert. So he is a paladin, so obviously he's going to be a tank. And if you want a great steel wall, he's your guy. Although the drawback for Engelbert is that he has weaknesses to magic, so you might want to be careful if you're going up against mages, but any physical attack, he can take it. And of course, he's also going to be able to dish out some decent physical damage as well. But if you want a tank, he's your guy. So the next one I'm going to introduce is Whisper. Now, she is a knight, but she's also a great tank. As far as I've heard other people talk about her, she is going to be a bit more offensive than Engelbert, but as a knight, her abilities includes skills such as Power Break, which of course deals damage and reduces enemies' attack power. You can also do Magic Break, so reduces magic and other stuff. She also has a Samurai sub-job and a Magic Knight sub-job. So, yeah, she's going to have a bit more magic defense thanks to her Magic Knight. So, she's also going to be a bit more on the offensive side with all these jobs. But she can basically be a great tank as well. Okay, so next is Stern. So, he is a soldier. Of course, he has a lot of offensive capabilities. Now, I won't say he's a tank, but rather a glass cannon. He has great offensive abilities, but at the cost of defense. So, you might want to heal him up regularly or have him paired with a tank. So, have the tank go first and absorb all the damage, and then have Stern follow through and dish out powerful attacks. So that's basically the strategy with him. So here's our next character. She's Vinera. She is an assassin, so of course she's going to be stealthy. She's going to have a lot of speed-based attacks. However, what I'm interested in is her double gunner sub-job. So, once you combine these two together, if you put double gunner as her sub-job, she's going to have access to long-range attacks as well, which is very, very nice. And I highly recommend doing that if you're going to use her in any situation. Whether you're doing quests or PvP, she's definitely going to be more versatile with the double gunner sub job. So another character that I'm going to introduce is Kiton. So of course she's a ninja, and with that said, she's of course going to have a lot of speed. She can move around the field much quicker than most characters. And what's interesting is that she also has a sub-job of Time Mage. So she can cast haste on herself to make her faster. So she's pretty much gonna be unstoppable once she increases her speed. And yeah, definitely very useful. So far, I have talked about at least the characters that I have that I do recommend. Uh, Maybe Rain. So he is also a collaboration character from Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, but I'm pretty sure that you can also get him normally here. So his job is called Knight of Grandshelt. Uh, he has very high HP, especially in higher levels. And what's interesting about here is he's basically used as a tank, but he has a lot of magic, especially if you choose to put Red Mage as his sub job. So he can also take magic damage, and he also has a lot of fire-based spells. So if you want to focus on powering up his magic, Red Mage should also be recommended. Okay, so these are some of the characters that I recommend for any like questing, PvP. Again, any UR character would be amazing. I know they're going to be great characters, especially if you level them up and you equip them with the right summons, vision cards, and equipment. That's going to be a topic for another video. But anyways, like I said, if you don't have UR characters, or if you don't have enough UR characters, what are you going to do? Who are you going to choose? So, the very next step is to get an SSR character. Now, in the global release, they are called MRs, or Mega Rares. So, let's take a look at them, shall we? So, the very first SSR slash MR character that I'm going to introduce is Mont Leonis. So, he's the main character of this game. Now, and I know, despite being the main character, he's an SSR character, but he is considered by many to be one of the best tanks in the game. Probably next to Engelbert, or maybe somewhat lower. I'm not sure, but again, he is very good at tanking, especially with his sub jobs Paladin and Knight. So you can assure that he's going to be very much built like a tank. So earlier I have introduced Ayaka as the best healer in the game. So what if you don't have Ayaka? Then which SSR or MR character should be a good replacement for her? Now, I introduced to you Grace. She is also a white mage, but strangely enough, she has a spear knight. So I believe she can be built like a tank. So that's interesting. But again, because her main job is white mage, she's going to be your second best healer, or she's gonna be your best healer if you don't have Ayaka. So other characters that I here are great. So this is Dairyu. So he is a gunner, and as a gunner, he is definitely good at long range attacks. So if you want to train someone in long range attacks, he's a good choice. So how about other characters here? Let's see. Oh, Fina, maybe. I guess for this, I can also use. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is Helena Lianes. So she's Mont's mother, and she is a green mage, but she also has a white mage sub-job. So green mages are basically good at debuff spells. So they're kind of a weird mix of, they're not really red mages, but they're more magic oriented, so they have skills like Ruin, which deals damage, and Bayaro, reduces wind damage. So yeah, they have buffs, debuffs such as Deshell, so decreases spirit. So that's gonna be a good strategy. But again, if you can unlock her Time Mage or White Mage sub-jobs, then she can also become a very good support character. And let's try introducing another one. Yeah, I can... So this is Caddia. She is a Cleric. So what's interesting about a Cleric is that, well, while she does have Cure, which is right here, she also has Banish. So basically, Clerics are the more offensive version of the White Mage. So you can definitely use her as a support, but she'll also be able to uh, deal some sort of damage. However, she doesn't have access to Holy. So if you do want a bit of offense from her, you can train her as a Magic Knight as a sub-job. But if you want a bit more supportive role for her, if you do want to use her mainly as a support, then White Mage is definitely a highly recommended sub-job for that. So next, we are going to move on to a quite lower rarity, so the SR characters. So I do have quite a lot. So the first one I'm going to introduce here is Murmur. So she basically is the third among these sisters. So we had Whisper and Grace already. So she's a red mage, but you can train her as a black mage and a spear knight. We also have here Naya, a white mage. So definitely another great support character if you don't have Ayaka. We also have here, so this is Vajim. So he is a thief, but you can train him as a warrior or samurai if you want more offense. So definitely a nice addition to your team if you want, well, at least someone close to an assassin. But yeah. I hear that Phoebe is also a great support character, especially if you unlock her White Mage sub-job. Well, she is mainly a Time Mage, but again, having her as a sub-White Mage, not a bad idea. Now, so far, I think I finished introducing the characters that I personally have that are gonna be great for most situations, especially if you're going PvP. Now, if you're going on quests, then probably any character would do. Again, if you just train them, level them up, equip them with a good vision card, yeah, story, questing, and stuff like that, no problem. But for PvP, you're only limited to 3 characters. So you definitely have to choose more wisely. So now I'm actually looking at my friends list because I'm looking for other characters that I want to introduce that I personally don't have. Now, there is one character that I really want. Oh, there, not this one, but we can take a look at this character. So, this character's name is Gilgamesh. So he is a beast with all these stats. Now, he has a unique job, so he's called a winged one. Now, I've heard that Gilgamesh is one of the hardest, if not the hardest character to obtain in the game if you're going for a normal role with his very low rate, his very low drop rate. And I heard that he's also one of the characters that are hardest to maximize to level 99. So I'm actually very lucky to have a friend that has a level 99 Gilgamesh. He's basically a walking destroyer. He's not a tank, but yeah, he's just gonna move around the field and destroy most enemies in one blow. He can probably even have an area of attack, I believe. But yeah, this one's a monster, I tell you. And then another character that I really want to introduce here. Now, wait, do I have her? Oh, no, cancel that. I almost unfriended that guy. So, where was it? I'm looking for that character. Really? Okay. So, anyways, I am going to go to the story. Well, any quest, but I'm really looking. I'm looking for this character. There we go. So this is Medina. She is a black mage, and by far, I believe she's one of the best spellcasters in the game. Like magic damage, she's your waifu. Now, I have been through a lot of PvPs and lost because the other player had a Medina on their party. She is a monster when it comes to magic attacks. So if you get her, consider yourself blessed. So yeah. Okay, now I'm not gonna do any questing here. So, okay. Yeah. Right. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys learned something. Well, you can also, of course, there are a lot of better War of Divisions guides on YouTube, especially for players of the international server. But again, I also would like to offer my thoughts, even just a little bit. But yeah, like I've said earlier, any character in this game will be useful if trained properly, so keep that in mind. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JE Fusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you on the next War of Divisions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.